Would you say you are self-disciplined? Do you have enough drive and motivation to get going? Or do you usually need a big kick in the ass to make it happen? Dear fellow citizens of the world, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nick. I'm a career coach, and today we are talking about carrots and sticks. And no, we are not cooking anything. It's just a way for you to figure out how you motivate yourself to reach your goals. So why should you care about a vegetable and a stick? Well, first of all, if you care about this, you know yourself better. You know what kind of mindset you need to approach how to achieve goals. And knowing yourself very well is like building a strong foundation for your house. Also, it will determine what kind of goals you're chasing. Are you usually self-motivated? You need something shiny that you want to get, or you just try to avoid pain and discomfort. Also, it will affirm if you're in the right career. Are you more of a self-employed person, or you prefer to be an employee with a structure? So stick or carrot. The carrot represents the shiny object. The stick is the pain you might get if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So knowing this already tells you how you approach setting goals and achieving them. And the process is definitely not the same. So a stick or carrot, one, you are running to something. The other one, you're running from something. So you want to avoid pain, you want to avoid discomfort. The other one, you want to chase shiny objects, you want to chase rewards. The process and the mindset are completely different. So the carrot, you're looking for a shiny object, a reward, something positive. Maybe you want more recognition, you want a better job, you want more money, you want better relationship. This is something positive, and you're looking for them and you are walking towards them. You actually motivate yourself to reach this objective. Because it's something positive, you usually don't need help. You don't need a push. You're more like pulling yourself towards this goal. And in this case, you probably value progress as much as achievement. For you, enjoying the journey, learning more is as interesting as getting the object eventually. Now, when we talk about the stick, we are talking about avoiding or running away from negative outcomes. So for example, you don't want to stay in a job that makes you very unhappy, unfulfilled. This is avoiding and running away from a negative outcome. Or you don't want to feel like you're wasting time and you see your life passing by. This is again a negative outcome. And by looking at it, you go the other way and you try to reach your objective. Usually when we need the stick to achieve goals, it's more like we are depending on somebody else to tell us what to do. Because it's negative, we need a push either from something or someone. This is not the ideal situation, but sometimes it works in a way that it helps you really realize that you want something different. So even though you have no idea what you're chasing, you really know what you don't want anymore. Now you have to be careful in this process because you have to wonder how much punishment is too much punishment. So if you're always functioning with negative goals, meaning avoiding negative outcomes, your mindset is going to be geared towards negativity regardless. You will only see what you don't like or what you don't want, what feels wrong, and then try to go somewhere else. Eventually, this feels a bit heavy because you feel like you need a stick all the time. You need a big push just to keep you away from something that you don't want. And this can have some impact on your self-esteem, and it can leave you traumatized for the rest of your life. So what I recommend is somehow to have a balance of both. I don't necessarily favor only going for the carrots because sometimes it's a bit superficial. If you just look for carrots, looking for shiny objects, you want rewards. Maybe you have a tendency at this point to look for materialistic rewards or outcomes. But if you only go for avoiding negative outcomes, again, you have a tendency to see dark things all the time. So I recommend having a balance of both. For me, that's what I do. I look for shiny objects, I look for shiny outcomes, but I also try to stay away and run from something that I don't like and that makes me feel uncomfortable or uneasy. So let me ask you, when was the last time you were chasing a carrot? Maybe fame, a raise, more money, more freedom, something that makes you feel positive, that makes you feel happy and fulfilled. That was your goal. And on the other hand, when was the last time you were running away from the stick, that you felt that was a punishment, that it was very negative outcome, and you really wanted to avoid this at all costs. So from now on, take a stance, and before you undertake anything, try to understand where you stand. Are you looking for a positive outcome? Are you really getting driven by something exciting, something that you really want to get? Or on the other hand, are you trying to avoid a bad situation? Are you trying to avoid some pain or discomfort? And when you take the stance of understanding this right from the get-go, your mindset will be different and the process will be different as well. So again, for me, I feel like you should have a balance of both. And that's what I try to do in my life. So for example, when I published my first book, I was not looking for fame. I was not looking for money, because let's be realistic. I mean, how many people write books these days? But the negative outcome I wanted to avoid, which was, again, the stick, was if you don't write your book, if you don't publish it, all the stuff that you've been experiencing and experimenting is going to go to waste. So for me, that was more the intention, avoiding wasting some work that I had done before, avoiding wasting thoughts and experience I could share with people and who could benefit from it. So that was more the idea here. And eventually it took me 5 months between the time I published it and actually communicated it. And if you want to check it out, there's a link in the description below when you can see it on Amazon. But it took me 6 months to actually promote it after I published it. And so there was nothing positive. There was nothing like looking for a shiny reward here. It was like, wow, do I feel authentic and legitimate enough to actually communicate the book to other people? So again, it was avoiding the stick. If it was published, but not communicated, not promoted, again, that would be a waste of my time and my energy. So this stick was there to say, you better say something and actually promote the book once and for all. But another type of goals that for me is the shiny object, is the goal, is when I train people, when I coach people, my objective is to see them improve, to see them step out of their boundary, of their comfort zone, and try to really dig into their inner potential. And when I see that happening, for me, that's the positive aspect. That's the goal right there. So of course, this is my carrot. My carrot is give all my energy, my time, and my work to these people so that they can do better with their lives, so that they can feel better about themselves. That's for me is the positive outcome. So you see, I use both. I use carrot and stick, depending on the objective, depending on the situation, and depending also on my mindset at this current moment. So now, publishing videos on YouTube is actually both, because there's a lot of things happening in the process. So for me, I need to have this routine in place, because somehow it becomes a stick. It tells me that I should be doing 2 videos per week, because that kind of creates some kind of discipline and resilience for my life and for my business. Yet at the same time, it's enjoyable. So for me, there's a carrot, the carrot of sharing ideas, sharing insights, the carrot of improving myself when speaking, the carrot of becoming better at editing. But there's also the stick. The stick is you need to make sure you do those 2 videos per week, because without this routine, it will be hard for me to be consistent. So by saying, okay, 2 videos a week, you need the time to plan, to write, to practice, to record, to edit, to publish. Somehow this becomes a stick. But because within this process, every aspect is enjoyable and rewarding, again, it's a balance of both. So I recommend that you use the carrot and the stick approach in your life, but really try to balance the 2. Don't go all in on the carrots, because you keep chasing things after sometimes and it gets boring. But on the other hand, don't function only with a threat behind your back. Because if you only feel like you need and you have to do things, it becomes an obligation. Of course, it doesn't become pleasant anymore, and it can leave you scarred in the future because you feel traumatized by some experiences. So from now on, think about anything you try to undertake, and think about what mindset you have at this moment and where you're trying to go. Do you think it's something very positive that you can reach by yourself, that you're fully driven and motivated to get? Or on the other hand, it's something difficult and it's hard to get started. So maybe looking at the punishing aspect of it and avoiding this punishment is a better option. Weigh the pros and cons and try to see where it works and where that can lead you. Thanks a lot for watching, and remember, experience, experiment, make the journey count. See you on the next video.